Title: They all knew my wife was sleeping with my best friend and helped her hide it. At my B-Day dinner, my wife's friends told me to be mature and accept a modern arrangement. Instead, I gave a signal to the waiters who weren't waiters at all. Start: I still remember the sound of the laughter. It was warm, familiar, and utterly fake. That night at my birthday dinner, I looked around the table at the faces of people I'd known for years. My wife, my best friend, her friends, the same ones who once toasted our wedding. All of them smiling, pretending. They thought I didn't know. The restaurant lights were low, candles flickering against polished glasses. A perfect night. At least that's what they thought they'd arranged. My wife, Emily, leaned close to whisper something to me, her perfume sweet and suffocating. "You've been quiet tonight," she said, smiling that gentle, trained smile. I looked at her, then at the man sitting across from me, Ryan, my best friend. Or he used to be. He raised his glass, grinning. "To Ethan, the most loyal guy I know." The irony burned deeper than the whiskey. I didn't answer. I simply nodded. My signal wasn't due yet. Emily and I had been married 7 years. We were partners, at least I thought we were. She was my calm after the storm, or that's the lie I told myself. Ryan was there before her. We built our careers together, celebrated every promotion, every milestone. They both knew how much trust meant to me. They both used it as a weapon. It started with the late-night texts. She said it was a client. Then the locked phone, the sudden perfume that wasn't mine. One night, I followed her, quietly, without emotion, just observation. Her car parked 2 streets away from Ryan's house. She didn't even bother to hide. I watched from the shadows as she walked to his door, adjusting her dress like it was just another routine. The door opened. He smiled. She went in. That's when something inside me didn't break, it went still, calm, focused. That's when the plan began. I didn't confront her. Confrontation is emotional. Revenge is mathematical. First, I contacted a private investigator. Within 2 weeks, I had everything: photos, videos, timestamps, even their messages. Every lie archived. Then came the financial prep. I moved assets, shifted accounts, and signed quiet agreements. My lawyer didn't ask questions. I paid him not to. I didn't stop there. Ryan and I co-owned a startup. I slowly rewrote the structure, rerouted intellectual property, and built a silent exit plan. When I was done, every share tied to him was legally hanging by a thread I could cut whenever I wanted. And the final touch? The dinner. My birthday. The night they'd all be there. I arrived early, calm, composed. The waiters greeted me, but they weren't waiters. They were professionals. The kind that didn't serve drinks, they served justice. Former investigators, legal specialists, hired through private channels. Each one briefed and waiting for a single signal. Emily walked in wearing the same necklace I'd given her years ago, the one she wore the first time she cheated. Her friends followed, whispering, laughing. Ryan came last, his confidence walking before him. When the dinner began, they toasted to me, pretending everything was normal. Halfway through the meal, Emily's friend, Tessa, leaned in with a smirk. "Ethan," she said, "you need to be mature about things." I looked at her. "Excuse me?" She laughed. "Come on, we all know about the arrangement. It's the modern world, right? Emily loves you. Ryan just fulfills other needs." There it was, the collective betrayal. Not just my wife, not just my best friend, all of them. My pulse didn't rise, my breath stayed steady. I simply smiled, lifted my glass and said, "You're right, it's time to be mature." Then I gave the signal. 3 waiters moved instantly. The restaurant doors locked with a heavy click. A projector screen lowered behind me, flickering to life with images, grainy but unmistakable. Emily, Ryan, hotel rooms, whispered goodbyes. Their laughter filled the room, the real kind, recorded from my hidden devices. Emily froze, Ryan's face drained of color, the others silent, ashamed, terrified. I stood, calm. I wanted you all here, I said, so no one could say I lied. You were all part of it. You told me to be mature, to accept a modern arrangement. So here's my version of maturity. Truth. Emily stammered, "Ethan, please." "No," I said quietly. "You've already said enough." One of the men in black stepped forward, handing her divorce papers, already filed, time-stamped, sealed. Ryan received a separate envelope, documents transferring every share of the company into my name. His ownership had been revoked the day before, under a clause he never read. "And the rest of you," I said, glancing at her friends, "don't bother deleting the messages. The copies were sent to your husbands an hour ago." Tessa gasped. Another started crying. I watched Emily's hands tremble as she realized she had nothing left to say. Then, for the first time, I let myself feel it. Not anger, not joy, just release. Ryan stormed out. Emily followed, sobbing. The others left one by one, whispering apologies that meant nothing. I stayed behind, watching the candles flicker until they died out. The waiters cleared the evidence, packed their gear, and nodded once before leaving me alone in the silence. I poured myself one last drink. The ice cracked, sharp, final. People talk about revenge like it's fire, but they're wrong. Fire burns fast. This was cold, surgical, pure. I didn't ruin them out of hate. I did it because betrayal deserves precision. Emily lost her reputation, her security, and her false friends. Ryan lost his company, his career, his best ally. And I lost my illusions. I walked out of that restaurant lighter than I'd felt in years. The night air was quiet, clean. Justice doesn't always come with noise. Sometimes it's just the sound of a door closing behind you and knowing it won't open again. They thought they could hide it forever. They forgot, I don't shout when I'm betrayed. I plan.